Welcome to Flair, a podcast where we chat all things Arsenal, all things football. My name's Warwick, and just to the left of me, 13,000 kilometers away in South Korea, is Luandiso.
Good evening, and thank you for joining us on our podcast. Be sure to follow us on Spotify and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Also, hit us with a follow on Twitter at play_Flair and at Flair Play Podcast on Instagram. We hope you enjoy the podcast.
And I deserve a bit more credit than wrong information. I won 4 times the FA Cup. Who has won it more? Give me one name.
Still Henry. Keeps on his feet. Henry, yes! Split for Adams! That's a sensational finish. Ball from Bergkamp to Patrick Vieira! The captain! Saul Campbell! Look! Gomez should have saved it. Gomez misses it. Well, we don't mind that today.
Welcome to Flair Play Football Podcast. I'm joined with Luandiso, and we have a really special guest with us. His name's Ebenhaezer Dibakwane. He's featured on Dancing with the Stars, a Netflix show called Ebenhaezer, and he's featured on Bantu Hour as a writer and in acting. He's also a 2-time Savanna Comics Choice Award-winning comedian. Welcome, Eb. Thanks for having us, man. Thank you for being here. How you been?
I'm chilling. How you doing, Warwick?
Yeah, good, man. Good.
Yeah, man, we're super excited to have you on the show, man. Like the 3rd episode, and our first guest as well, and it's a massive guest. Talking to a rising South African comedian, someone that you guys have seen on your TV screens. Before we get into the football chats and before we get into the Arsenal, we'd just like to talk a bit about Eb and the work that he's done. I'm just going to shoot and ask Eb how it's like being a South African comedian, and also how you'd frame South African humor. Do you think we have a healthy sense of humor as South Africans?
Yeah, man. I imagine our sense of humor is particularly up there with the best. I mean, as far as stand-up comedy goes, I rate South African comedians are like as far as comedians in one single country, we're in the top 3. I would say I don't know. I'd say so. There's England and America. I'd say we're like 3rd over there. In terms of international humor, you see the likes of Loiso Kola, who are killing it in England. You see the likes of course, Trevor Noah, obviously, Tetum Konzo, Scott Pezzero is like huge in the Netherlands. Like not huge, but he works quite well in the Netherlands. Loiso Matinga.
Yes.
Tumi Morake, Riyad Musa. They just did their Netflix quarter specials, along with Kola, of course, the 4 of them. So it's like, yeah, bro, if you go watch Comedians of the World, and you watch them all, South African comedians are like top up there, you know what I mean? With America and England.
Why do you think that is?
I think it's because of our tumultuous, background as a country, you know what I'm trying to say? We've been forced too long, and ours is very recent. Now, of course, we are English medium country generally. I mean, not the only language we use, but a lot of our television shows and our entertainment tastes, our American and English. You know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
So yeah, man, it's been a dope journey for me. And yeah, bro.
What's been your favorite moment? You speak about your journey. I mean, I'm sure there can be many, but I mean, like working with Hugh Masekela, I'm thinking it must be one of them, the late and great. How was that? Is that your most, memorable experience in your journey?
I would say it's my second most memorable journey. Just this morning, actually, I am going to be featured on a podcast called Fair Play, and that must be the penultimate.
Oh, hey, Warwick, we're bigger than Hugh, man.
I can't even say anything.
I'd say Hugh, me winning my Comics Choice Award.
Yeah.
Those have been particularly ingratiating, man. You know, to
Yeah.
have done it so early in my career as well. You know, I mean, yeah, if this is the beginning, I can only imagine what's to come.
Yeah,
Do you know
sure.
what? Do you know what's really cool? We have like Eb, you as a a big South African comedian who's an Arsenal supporter, and you mentioned another
Sir.
big South African comedian in Loyiso Gola, who's also another massive gooner.
Yes,
So there
sir.
must be like a good relationship between South African comedians and Arsenal, or maybe just the state of things at Arsenal, where there's a lot to laugh
Yeah,
about.
there's a lot of sadness.
There's a
Yeah,
lot of sadness.
supporting Arsenal up there with apartheid. I'd say those are all the atrocities that we've had to suffer as goodness. Oh my gosh! Shut the fuck up,
Yeah.
Mandela. Shut the fuck up, man. I'm joking. Oh, it's painful, bruh. But I feel
Yeah.
like Arteta's doing things, man. So it's an exciting time, but you have to be patient.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's. I think with Arteta we have to be patient, just as we've had to be patient with this year, with a lot of uncertainties both in the world and of course acutely with Arsenal as well. 2020, how's 2020 been for you, brother?
Yo, dog, I won't lie, man. It was difficult at the beginning, and of course, it kind of messed with my head as far as my career, because it's basically illegal, or it was at least, So I won't lie, man. It was painful, man. It was, when you've sacrificed so much, and I've sacrificed quite a bit for this career, So.
Obviously we've known each other for a while, since like school and stuff like that, and I've always known you to be like a funny guy and like going into the space. But how much? Because I also remember you being like fucking incredible at maths. I mean, I don't know if a lot of people know that about you, but you're kind of a genius. How much? Like, how hard was that pressure? Like, I'm just guessing that your parents wanted you to go into varsity and go into studies, but then making that choice to actually, do what you love. What was that like?
Yeah. It was particularly difficult, homie. Because I remember when I told my parents, I told my mom like I'm quitting. I told my parents I'm quitting, and then my mom was like, because and sorry about the wind.
Sure.
That was the issue with. Dude, I don't want to like badmouth them, but like our parents always said things like, yo, guys, the world is your oyster. You can be anything. We have sacrificed so much. The world is your oyster. You can be anything you want to be in the world. Anything you can imagine. Anything. And first of all, like, we had never eaten oysters at that point. The closest reference you could make, proper reference would have been like tin fish. The world is your pilchards. And that's the closest thing to seafood I'd had at that point, So yeah, she's like, the world is your oyster. And then I'm like, cool, man. I want to be a comedian. She's like, Futsekwe. So what the fuck are you talking about? So yeah, dog, they kind of cut me off. I struggled for like 2 years. I was homeless. And yeah, dog, the first call I got back was my dad. I don't know how he got, I guess he got my number from my brother. And he's just like, yo, bro, you know how painful it is to hear from other people that your son is doing things. And I won my award. And I was like, what the fuck, bro? This is the first call, bro. You have no idea of the meeting. We have been sleeping. So yeah, there's those things emotionally. There's a lot of healing that has to happen. For me, myself, I regret sometimes, like I should have just gotten a degree. And because I can still do stand up at night, Could have been like a math teacher or some shit and gone and done stand up in the evenings. But I'm here now, dog.
Yo, Ebs, like you're just telling us about your journey and how you've had to work hard to translate your ideas and make them visible and tangible and having them materialize. I think this is like the similar challenge for many football managers and people in sports, of course, and people in many careers. But I mean, you are a football podcast. We'd like to look at sports, where managers have ideas. They think about their teams, their starting lineup, which is the best team to play against a certain opponent. And we, the fans who watch, really don't have a close understanding of that process, like with what the manager is trying to do. Similarly, with someone like Arteta at Arsenal, we think and we see like, oh, we have a team, we're solid, we're playing with a certain level of solidity and structure, and then next minute we're playing Willian, as a false nine or as a number nine, and we just
Yeah.
don't understand, and then we're losing against Man City, and it just like, what is the manager trying to do?
Yeah.
What is your thinking around like about football managers in general, and also particularly with Mikel Arteta at Arsenal?
Yo, man, I won't lie to you. Personally, I'm enjoying what he's doing, and I think I kind of get it. It is, I mean, it's not as fun, to watch the style of play right now, but also just only winning by like 1 goal margins, you know what I'm saying? But the improvement in terms of results, you know what I'm saying, and then the back line, hey, they fucking tight at the back, bro. You know what I'm trying to say? Of course, like I was when we watched that Liverpool game, and on the right is Salah, and I think it's Tierney, and I'm like, oh. Sometimes of course they're gonna struggle here and there, but generally, bro, we out here. Obviously we missed that the Wenger period. I read there on your Fair Play podcast that Loa is a Wengerist. But yeah, bro, it's a new team. Another frustration, of course, is these old cats. So I mean, if we're looking at like a 5-year plan or a 5-season plan. I'm trying to understand. Maybe perhaps Arteta is just making these guys here as placeholders, opening for the likes of Nketiah and Bo Saka.
Yes, yeah.
But yeah, man. So you see, that's the whole point, is that we don't see the genius. That's obviously why they haven't hired any of us,
Pity.
to go and coach. But yeah, bro, I'm enjoying the process, and also looking forward to the possibility of making Champions League this year.
I get you in terms of like seeing the development of Arsenal, and those marginal wins for me haven't been upsetting, because in the past, those, we wouldn't have held on to those marginal wins. I mean, we saw it in like the Man United game, where we had 15 minutes of Man United actually like pushing, but we stuck to seeing out the phase and being committed with like huge tackles from Gabriel and Tierney and stuff like that.
Gabriel is nice.
What a beast, man. Great teeth.
Yeah.
Dodgy hairline, but he's good.
Yeah.
But for me, like, I haven't been upset about those marginal wins, because this is the phase where we are at now, and we have that attitude where we might not have had it, especially in the Unai Emery stage, and also to the latter stages of Wenger's career, where those results can just flick, in like 10 minutes. And I think I'd like to think that we wouldn't have lost against Leicester and maybe picked up more points this season so far if COVID never happened, and if we could have got the likes of OR, in terms of the financial market. And it's going to be interesting to see who we sign in January. Who do you want to see at Arsenal?
Yo, homie, personally, I'm ambitious, bruh. You know what I'm trying to say? So
Messi's going to City, dude. Messi's going to City. You can't.
Messi's going to City.
He's not coming to Arsenal.
You know that Messi already is going to City, and he's also going to have to go play in the American League, but that's another conversation. It's true, but I mean, yeah, but I would like to see the likes of Thiago. You know what I'm trying to say? Personally, you know what I mean? Who's this young player from Canada?
Alphonso Davies.
Homie, just like a young team that can grow with, you know what I'm trying to say, that will still be useful in the next 7 seasons, and would have played together as well as a team. Basically, any young cat right now, who can grow with the team, and who can bring results right now.
Yeah.
Someone that I would enjoy at Arsenal.
Yeah, I get that. Almost like a finished player, but who's younger. Because obviously, if we look into like the youth academies of the world, obviously this process is going to take a little bit longer. Because
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah, of
the
course.
thing with Klopp, what I've noticed is, he didn't sign the big names. He turned the small names into like big names. Like Wijnaldum, he got relegated
Yeah,
with Newcastle the season
yeah,
before
yeah,
he signed, and he's turned into one of the best midfielders. So I think,
yeah.
so far I think our scouting in terms of like signing players has been really good. I mean, with David Luiz, you can
Yeah,
argue that every like second game.
yeah,
But yeah, I'd like to see us getting players who already can fit into the system, like we saw with Party.
exactly.
One
Yeah,
of the boss is what a champion. What do you rate? How do you?
yeah.
Yeah, what's your thoughts
I
on
know, and I
Party?
enjoy his style of play, but I won't lie at the back, especially at the back. I'm just excited about our back four. Even Leno Pram, I'm impressed, And but again, Gabriel as well, being a young guy, I'm hoping that we can, we can keep them there, And I
Yeah.
imagine Arteta to be the sort of person that can make people dream again, dog. Yeah, no, I won't lie, man. But mostly what I'm frustrated about, my dog, is the front line, dog.
The creativity.
We're not taking any shots, I'm trying to say, and I'm not comfortable with Opa's King accuracy personally, as much as I
Oh
adore
yeah.
him. You know what I mean? Ish. So it's like, yo, bruh, I remember that Liverpool game, dog. I feel like as much as we are strong at the back, our midfield needs to be like more militant in terms of fetching the ball, and guarding in the middle. Because, bro, it looked like, for me, in my opinion, from my point of view, we look like children, dog. Busy at the back when they're coming attacking us, they look like ants, and we had no idea what to do. The ball, you know what I'm trying to say, like. We have
Yeah.
no idea what to do, dog. You see the ball, bro. You just see like just rash decisions, like children, bro.
Yeah.
Just punting the ball. So I don't know what
Yeah.
that is. I don't know if he's building from the back to the front. If he's starting at the back and then he's gonna focus on the midfield a little. But what I would like to see is just, bro, solidness in the midfield as well. A few more shots, homie. Or if not necessarily a few more shots, but if we're gonna play from a distance, we're gonna shoot from a distance, if we're gonna play that game holding in the middle, then at least we have to practice our counters harder, and also again, long range. We have to focus on
Yeah, like create some variation in our play. It's very like static at the moment, and like we spoke about this in like I think it might have been episode 1 or 2, where like we starting to see patterns of play, and when you start showing patterns of play, usually people have answers to it. I mean, in Chelsea's title-winning campaign with Conte, he like revolutionized the back three. And then the next season he got sacked because teams had the off season to study.
like figured it, yeah, to figure it out. Like,
So yeah, that's how.
I know
Fuck. It just
I know that card trick.
Yeah.
You're looking at the card like
Yeah.
I see your finger in the middle of the cards where I placed it.
yeah.
You're a magician.
I completely understand where you're coming from. I think we're so set on starting from the back, and it might be like phase one of many phases to come. But I think it's also teaching our defense to become more comfortable on the ball, without like hacking it up to nowhere. But yeah. Anyway, Lua, do you want to ask anything?
Yeah, you said. I think Eb said he brought up a very important point. Like we are transitioning from the Wenger era, how we played football, free-flowing football, very progressive, and we had like the blip with Unai Emery. And now we are set on a new coach and a new manager who's actually like well respected around footballing circles, despite the fact that he doesn't have or hasn't had experience as a manager. And with Arteta, it looks like he's just wanted to rid Arsenal of some of the ways that we used to play, retraining and reprogramming the players. Doing away with callousness and lapses in concentration, and instilling like a more like a more rigid, not rigid, but a more concentrated level of effort. Basically building a new synergy around the team and imposing his ideology and identity on the team as well. So that's why, maybe we're seeing so many moments of, where we're lacking clarity, where we're not sure why we're playing this way. So many changes. You might think that Arteta is a bit erratic as a manager, or that he tinkers a lot, but definitely he is someone who's trying to do something at Arsenal. Now, something that you've pointed on is the lack of creativity. We're loving what's happening at the back. I mean, talking about an Arsenal defense, and we have like the best defense in the league this season is crazy. You wouldn't have imagined that a year or 2-3 years ago. Now we have the most like the best defense. I mean, with Partey and Elneny, after the Manchester game, also it's just one game, but there's some improvement there. There's still a lot of work to be done between, the midfield and with the attacking players. And it's quite interesting that you just like criticized Aubameyang because he gets to get away with so much. We immediately go to like Lacazette, Pepe, Willian, and no one, is really talking about what does Aubameyang offer, especially when he's not in front of goal, and as well as when he's in front of goal and missing opportunities.
Because I saw this. I didn't get to watch the Manchester game, but I saw the highlights, and I'm like, come on, just on target. You're there, bro. You are. Oh, I'm fit. Not at this level. You know what I'm trying to say?
Not at this level.
I'm so happy that Bellerin took the fall there because I thought he looked like he was about to the run.
He could have.
Yes. Oh. Yeah.
It's like he remembered late. Oh shit! I'm in the penalty box. I can most definitely fall here, right?
Yeah, yes. I saw a split second between them stepping on his foot and him, taking the ball.
Falling. I'm sure Arteta was like, Bellerin, fall down in Spanish or something. Drop.
Yeah. For me, that's the thing, bro. Like, I don't see it, man. And that's the thing, right? Is that okay? Fine. I don't wanna. I'm speaking. I don't wanna be. I don't wanna offend anybody. But personally, my dog. The only thing for me is Saka's height. But my dog, with a lot of with a lot of training, dog. I really feel like this homie is gonna bring something wild to the field. I can even see him playing like King just behind the attack, just in the middle of the defense, because he's very creative. And then he can take a hard left or a hard right and direct play in that direction.
Yeah, he's comfortable running with the ball. Yeah,
he's comfortable running with the ball, and like he's got a nice foot on him, quite a nice foot when he's in front. You know what I'm trying to say? When you see players like that, and you see Oba dog, like it's just.
I can't believe we just got.
But how many games was it? When last did he score though? When last before this penalty now?
I think it was in Europa. In the Prem, I think he went on a 5-goal drought. Yeah.
Is it his fault though? Is it largely his fault? You think, Eb?
I wonder if it is, and if not, then I want to understand, and maybe you guys can inform me what his worth is. Inform me of his worth. Teach me. I can.
Yeah. I mean, we look at like last season. Obviously, I think he single-handedly won us the FA Cup.
Yes.
And if Abba goes on a drought, hopefully it's maximum like 5 games. But maybe we can bring in the Ozil discussion here. And
well, before we go to the Ozil discussion, because I have a lot to say.
Yeah, I know,
and I'm sure Eb has a lot to say about Ozil as well. If you look at that run, our FA Cup run and winning the FA Cup, that's when we saw Arteta's patterns at play, where we play out from the back, we push the ball to the right side, and then we have that lob crossfield pass into Aubameyang, and then he finishes. I mean, we've seen like 2-3 of those goals, and they're quite predictable now. And I'm assuming that because we are playing without a cam, we've become more predictable, and it's easy or it's possible to defend that situation. So now Arteta's trying some new variants, introducing Willian. Even though, I mean, Willian kind of moves the ball around, I'm still not sure. I mean, I like Willian, and I liked Willian at Chelsea as well, but I'm still not sure exactly what he's bringing into the squad. Is he, he did give us like a hat trick of assists, or was it 2 assists in his first game against Fulham? No goals still, and so we kind of using auxiliary wingers to come into the center and to like be the connect between the midfield and the strikers, especially Aubameyang. But I don't know if it's Aubameyang not performing, or if it's a lack of service.
There we are.
I don't know what you guys think.
but that is the whole question, right? The whole question is when he's not in front of the post, he's like, I mean, dude, okay. For me, I look at who was this player? I'm trying to remember his name from Manchester back in the day in our high school days. That just used to stand. He just used to stand
Van Nistelrooy.
in front of the post. No, not Van Nistelrooy. Van Nistelrooy is also kind of attack, but this guy he just used to sit in front of the post, but he was militant. I'm trying to remember his name.
Berbatov.
Started with a B. Was it Berbatov? I think it was Berber. Was it?
Bebe.
Anyway, the point I'm trying to make. Yeah. The point I'm trying to make is that militant. So we can see at least every time this nigga, even if he's not really contributing to the play, building up to the attack itself, we know that once it's at the foot, it's hitting either the target or the net. You know what I'm trying to say? Generally, Bram, it's just but I am whiling. I am whiling. I am whiling. And possibly a lack of service. So I'm just like, man, I don't know, man.
And then
for me, I would prefer a striker that's able to move with the midfield or from the midfield area, go and fetch the ball if needs be.
Like a Bobby Firmino.
With it. Exactly.
Yeah.
Even sometimes you even see Salah, bro, make a hard press. Athleticism. But we can't talk about Liverpool. Liverpool at this point feels like watching World 11 on FIFA or playing with World 11.
Yeah, like when you're talking about that game when we played against Liverpool, Arsenal against Liverpool, and we looked like kids. It was literally because we were playing against a complete and polished team that has been in the works for like the past 3 years. UEFA Champions winners a year ago, a season ago, and the current champions of the league. They are like the Premier League's answer to Bayern Munich, and we are very much far from there.
Of course,
we still have a lot of work to do. But now let's address the elephant in the room. Your thoughts on Mesut Ozil being sidelined completely from the squad, from Europa to the Premier League, is not going to feature in any Arsenal games this season, and the fact that we're lacking any creativity. What are your thoughts about that? The relationship between Arsenal and Ozil. Do we need him? Is it time for him to go? What's your thinkings around that?
I won't lie, man. I love Ozil, but I love Ozil mostly, I won't lie, towards the end as well as an idea, to be honest. Of course, he's a masterful player, but with the many injuries. And then also now, this is not... I took it personally when he refused to take a pay cut. I took it personally, homie. You know what I'm trying to say? Because the many costs. There are many costs, But to sideline him completely for me also is just a wild thing, and it's also, I feel, not the smartest. We're not in a position to be out here flexing our powers or punishing. You know what I'm trying to say? Being personal about it. I think even when I was also surprised when Guendouzi was sent.
Guendouzi left, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, with Ozil, we're still paying him like $350.
I know, so.
And he just comes. I mean, when he's not on Twitter, he's posting images and videos of himself working out at the Arsenal gym. Like, well, like we're still paying him. He still gets to use the facilities. Both the club and Ozil are still meeting the ends of their contractual agreement. But we have a midfielder here, someone who's able to create, not playing. And I think it looks like Arteta is very much comfortable and happy, of course, as he said, with not having Ozil in the squad.
I feel like it was personal and it's childish, bro. In my mind, I don't know, bro. Like it's not because I'm not saying that he doesn't know what he's doing, but I mean we don't have the means right now. You know what I'm trying to say? We need every player that can contribute. You know, how do you guys feel?
So personally, for me, like I'm trying to weigh up whether it's a footballing decision or if it's like for lack of word, but like political situation, between the club, and to a degree, I can see why Ozil shouldn't feature as much. Obviously, not being like completely ostracized. In terms of like what Arteta's trying to build with 11 players on the field who are trying to go for the ball, it's difficult because right now we've got the people who have the energy to press until like the 91st minute, like you see with like Elneny.
Yeah.
But at the moment, and I might be speaking too soon, and it has only been like 3 games where we've lacked creativity. But it's someone we could throw him on like at least like 10 minutes, and just get especially against the teams who will like defend against us with like a low block where we don't need to press as much.
Exactly.
Unlocking their creativity. So like I think it's just a massive like cloud over the club in terms of like what's actually happening. Like what are the reasons? I don't think we'll ever hear it. Maybe near the end of his, once he's retired or something. But
at the moment, it's still a lot of speculation. I mean, Warwick, Arteta would speak to the footballing reasons, the fact that Ozil doesn't track back and he cannot press. I mean, a complete opposite of Ozil in terms of the press is Elneny, like how we saw against Manchester United. Ozil is never giving you those runs in the 90th minute, but at the same time, he does offer us a lot, in terms of, it offers us a lot going forward, and especially in unlocking teams that play in the low block, as you said. And then the political reasons, I mean, we've spoken about this before, and a lot of people are aware of this. Him speaking about the Uyghur community in China and the Muslim community in China and what's happening there. China's a massive market for any football club in the English Premier League in terms of broadcasting the matches, and the Chinese government and the Chinese broadcasters were very heavy-handed in their response to Mesut Ozil speaking out on a political issue. So I think there's that as well, and then also in terms of finances, the fact that if Ozil is okay, they're still paying him his wages, but they're not paying him, so they're not obligated, or they don't have to pay him his match performance or appearance bonuses or fees. So the club is saving quite a bit on the financial front as well. I still believe that Arteta is basically a company man in that decision. He's towing the line and following the orders of the board in terms of not featuring Ozil. They're trying to push him out. And also Ozil, surprisingly, something that doesn't help him. It seems like playing football is secondary to him at the moment, and he's happy to take the wages and make cash dollar before he bounces and finds another club to play for, because this is his last big check. But it has been a very unfortunate situation, because I mean, like Warwick, in 2013 or in this past decade, we've won FA Cups, right? But like one of the greatest moments was when we signed Ozil on deadline day in 2013. Exactly. That was a madness.
It's historic, yeah. A World Cup winner, playing for Real Madrid. It was huge. And it's sad that it's like a terrible breakup.
Yeah.
And, it seems as though, like, with every other player at Arsenal, that, Arteta's, like, rejuvenated players, finding form that we didn't know they even had. I mean, I could even argue that Mustafi has gotten a little bit better. But, I mean, why is that not happening with Ozil? That they literally also, like, played together. So, he knows his quality and stuff like that. So
I think he just hasn't been given the opportunities. But like that's my Ozil bias. Like I'm a, one would say a Ozil fanboy, and he just hasn't been given the chances. Like he's going to training, and since the whole debacle took place and reached its heights, there was just no attempt, no desire, or even thought about playing Ozil for whatever reasons. So we'll never know, and we're never going to see Ozil again. So again, with Arteta at the helm now, we're slowly having to like let go and move forward or past the Ozil situation, and then just focus on the players that we have and the players that he's going to use going forward. Now we've brought in some new signings, especially Thomas Partey, Gabriel,
Yeah.
and you've watched those boys play, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
What do you feel? Yeah.
Yeah, dog. I feel like I'm fascinated with Gabriel because this kid comes in and basically feels like he's at the center of the back for me, in my opinion, in terms of holding it down, like leading the defense.
He's bossing
He's so
it.
exciting to watch. Yo. And I won't lie, I was a bit nervous because I'd not really paid attention to his work before Arsenal. I was just a little bit nervous by the fact that he's not that tall, and but you watch this young man play and you're like, I know we're gonna be all right. As
You're gonna be alright.
as Eben poet Kendrick Lamar once said, we're gonna be all right.
We gonna be alright. Do you know? When I see Gabriel play, and you talk about his frame, there is one player that he kind of reminds me of, and that's Jerome Boateng at Bayern Munich. Now, I'm not saying it just because they're both like brothers, if you know what I'm saying, but just in like Boateng, both at Man City and during the World Cup, before that whole Messi thing happened, he used to be a very solid player. Who was agile, he could move fast, he could play with the ball, also solid defensively, and just neat as well. And this is exactly what I'm seeing with Gabriel. He's like, I'm here to defend, to play, and then I go home, well, at the moment. And he's only 23 years old, and he's playing with such maturity,
Exactly.
Yeah, it's fantastic. And he's a bit of a hard man. He's not afraid to make the tackle. I mean, we saw him play with the yellow card. He got a yellow card against Man United in like the first half. And then I thought, oh man, that's going to limit his game. He might feel a bit restricted in terms of making the tackles. But he never did. He played without any restraint, and he still went in for the tackles and still applied his mind and his feet. Incredible signing. Incredible signing.
Yeah. Yeah, bro. I was shocked because I thought, for me, this is what I was thinking. The fact that he's like this huge young man, I'm like, this nigga's not going to be able to track back fast enough, But you check him, he's quick. You know what I'm trying to say?
yeah, he's very mobile for someone who's as big as he is. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
Man.
the one thing that scares me.
It's like, yeah.
The one thing that The one thing that scares me is I think Loa, you mentioned Boateng, and like he hasn't been the same since Messi dropped him in that Champions League game.
UEFA game, yeah.
I'm just hoping he doesn't follow suit, or we just don't play Messi at all. Actually, you know what? I'd play Barcelona right now, to be honest.
You reckon you play? Okay, this Barcelona.
Yeah, this Barcelona. Yeah.
Okay. Let's just be clear on that.
So,
So, Eb, you between your work, right, and you have a busy schedule, do you still have time to watch the games? And also, how do you watch the games? Do you prefer to watch the games like at home or at the pub with the homies, with the mandems, or maybe with the
so I remember,
yeah?
like, we watch at the pubs, but most of the time my boy has an Xbox here that and the DSTV app on it, so we usually just watch it on the television here at home.
Yeah.
I live with another comedian by the name of Tabiso Mhlongo, but the last game I watched at the pub was the Community Shield. Yeah, and which is where that's why I fell in love with soccer. I was just like, oh my god, this guy is gonna be amazing.
Is he your favorite player at the moment?
I mean, he's my favorite
Young talent.
What a king. Young talent, for sure. And also probably in my top 5 as far whenever he comes onto the field, he makes impact. You know?
Yeah, 100%.
I unfortunately have to say, for me, Gabriel is my favorite.
Mad.
I can't believe it. I just couldn't believe it. You never, like, because defensive talent, they hardly emerge of this proportion. You know what I mean? And we hardly are able to find them quick enough or buy them quick enough. You know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
You know, he's not emerging. This young cat is a player, dog. You know. So
I think
I have to personally. I'm really loving. I mean, it's only played a few
Gabriel.
games, but I'm really loving Gabriel. Yeah.
You used to play defense, like when you jam soccer, hey? So you
Used to play right back.
right back, yeah, so you can appreciate good defending.
His positioning. Oh, what dog. And of course, as you are saying, taking those risks, you know.
I think you've mentioned soccer twice already, and at both times I smile. You know, just thinking about that footballer. Like, soccer is like my Nigerian prince, boy. You know.
I love his smile.
I love his smile, man. Like he's so clean and he's so polished. And you know, a lot of the times when I watch him, I still really don't understand what it is that he's doing, but whatever it is, he does it well. Like, he's not giving you, like tricks and flicks and all that stuff, but it's just the passing, the moving,
Decision
the appears,
making, yeah.
the decision making. And I think that's the important thing here, Warwick, is his intelligence and decision making for such a young player at only the age of 20 is remarkable. You know, and also it keeps in line with like our values as a club to always show and show young talent.
Yeah, I think I haven't
exactly.
I haven't been excited for a youngster coming out of Hale End, our academy, since Wilshire. And it's been a while since we've actually had one of our own, you know. And when he signed that contract, I was so stoked. It's exciting.
I won't lie, Jack Wilshere's story breaks. It's a heartbreaking story.
Yeah, free agent.
Like, even when you check, I mean, you look at players like Theo Walcott, my dog, and you're just like, what the fuck? You know, what the fuck happened? Like, how did it go wrong? And you wonder, did Arsenal break these players? Is it because dude, as much as I it hurts to see some of these players go. Like, in the past, you see them bounce. Of course, Van Persie, that motherfucker. Fuck that guy.
Adebayor, fuck that guy.
Fuck that guy.
Even Fabregas, I'm kind of like, fuck you, bro.
Yeah. This he came back to it though, but you know, you look at them when they go and just fucking, they become amazing. You know? So it's like with Walcott and some of these players, you wonder if Arsenal kind of wore these players down. Even an Ozil, for instance, you know. But I mean, I think also Ozil is not the youngest of players. But you look at Arteta, and I've got faith in that he's going to be developing these youngsters, this team well. And it's kind of like Arteta is kind of also like a young talent, if that makes sense. Like the club is growing,
of course,
him, you know.
Yeah.
So
I think
that sort of
yeah. When you talk about these players that have left, like Abo, Fabregas, Van Persie, those are talented, like super talented players.
Yeah.
Who were playing at Arsenal after our dip, and whose ambitions as talented players did not match the ambitions of the club financially as well. So we can be like super hurt, feel some type of way about their departures. But then I mean, I can no longer be angry, about their decisions. Like for Fabregas going back to Barcelona, back to Barcelona, and then Chelsea lifting trophies, and Van Persie winning the Premier League, even though it was against Man United and Sir Alex Ferguson. These were ambitious players that we were lucky to have to begin with, and then you could see after they left the kind of players that we had. We're coming from Shamak as like our main striker. What's that other
Sonogo.
Dude, also another thing is like we've had Mesut Ozil playing and feeding Sonogo the ball. Like, come on, Oaks. So it's looking better now. It's looking better now, and I think it has a lot to do with Arsene Wenger as well. Like as he said, leaving the club in a good financial position.
Yeah, I know. I said, Mr. What you call, Mr. Wenger will always be loved.
Yeah.
I remember, even though I could never say a bad word, even though it was bad, I was like,
Wenger out.
figure it out.
and he never did, eh? For some time, it was like,
never did.
It's like, why do you want me to leave? Like, all my life I've spent, working for this club and pouring my energy to this club. Why do you ask me if it's time to go? It was basically, yeah. It's really cool to hear you like in your entertainment and comedy bag. And I wanted to ask you a question. On entertainment, do you feel like football and comedy hold the same responsibilities to viewers and supporters in terms of what they offer on the weekends, maybe as an escape or as something to just watch and be endeared to on those weekends?
I mean, I would say that, I would imagine that about maybe all sorts of entertainment having that particular strength, but with a team, I would say it's both in its entertainment bag and its religion bag, bruh, it gives people something to believe in, or, something to hope for, something to shift, something to really care about, what I'm trying to say. I was basically kind of raised, by, in terms of my understanding of football, by Arsenal, what I'm trying to say. Some of my happiest moments, as an Arsenal fan, some of my favorite conversations, I had a friend of mine, Mokhalo Malomane, and just we used to, and Warwick also used to support Arsenal, but I don't think we used to speak much about it. But you can just us just shouting and arguing, what the fuck, bruh? What the fuck are you talking? That it offers you, and then like it's wild when you're praying. What I'm trying to say. You're praying. Like,
You got your Bible out and you're praying for a W.
Your cousin has pneumonia, but you're out here praying for Arsenal to win, and you're like, I guess Zico as well. But Arsenal, Lord, please, in the name of Jesus, King of Kings, Lord of Lords,
Don't lose to Birmingham City.
please.
Yeah.
I don't need that.
I think that's very true. I think football, aptly is a religion. Because, not only does it just connect you with something like where you find joy and happiness and an escape from like real life, but it also brings you together with, like-minded people.
Exactly.
Where you spread, your football love and you make friendships out of it. So that's why I believe like football is really special. I think when I first met Luandiso, we met in our first year at Rhodes. He was like in his third year or whatever, but like immediately we found out we're both Arsenal supporters, and to that minute we've been like best mates ever since. So there's beautiful stories that happen through football.
Were you guys at the pub?
No, it was actually at our res. Like I just arrived at res, and then we just spent the whole night like jolling.
I think when it would the idea of entertainment is a really fascinating one for me, especially like we talk about like how we come into love football, whether it's an escape or rather it's like something that you go and find an exploration of joy. You watch football, you are psyched up and gassed before the game. You watch the game, you break the game down with your friends afterwards at the pub or whatnot. Also,
Yeah.
you want to play. There's just so much
Yeah.
happening in that realm, and it is an incredible form of football. I mean, an incredible form of entertainment. And I asked this question to Warwick last in the previous podcast. If Are we still seeing that in football at the moment? Like, are we still being entertained? I mean, this is a Flair Play podcast, and like, we want to still speak to the idea of football as entertainment, as those special moments that you see on the pitch. Like, we are the generation that grew up watching Ronaldinho at his height.
Yo, Vanna.
So are we still seeing that as well? Of course, now with so much information being available to us, we can talk about the team shapes, the starting 11, the structure, the low blocks, the defensive players playing out from the back. But are we still seeing flair on the pitch?
So I
It's
mean, bro.
more so in the Premier League.
Yeah, my homie, I won't lie to you, bro. I won't lie. It's the same thing. I mean, if you go and watch basketball or any top tier sports, we must remember that these guys, everybody who's saying, are the best in the world. They're like a 1% of human beings in terms of human capability and skill. These people have given their whole lives to this particular thing, and so football, more and more, it was of course back in the day, but more and more, it has become a career. You know what I'm trying to say? Like if you talk about Ronaldinho used to go party and then come back. You know what I'm trying to say? Like, you can see he's sweating out all that alcohol. You can check.
Yeah.
You can see on the field this nigga was lit last night. And now, things like being able to be fined for cigarettes, for being found smoking cigarettes. The game has changed. It's a business now, and their bodies are the vehicle for that particular business. And so as much as I'd like to criticize, the fact that we don't see it, and I mean, I do miss it. Yeah, but these people have to make careers out of this thing, and these bodies have to try and last them for at least a span of 10 years, at least 10 years. So I don't think they're going to do that anymore. You see, also people are not as brazen in terms of tackling. Like, players like Will Gabriel are rare, bro. You know what I'm trying to say? Like going hard into the 50-50. Because of things like I forget his name. It was a Shawcross.
Oh yeah, short cross on Aaron Ramsey.
And Aaron Ramsey, you see their legs snap in half, and you never see them go for a 50-50 the same. It psychologically fucks you. So people don't play aggressively anymore because this leg breaks my mind and my body are fucked. My career is fucked. There's no time to do flair because coaches will bench your ass, boy. Will bench your ass, push the ball.
Yeah, it's become more
So
of a team sport.
I mean, it always was a team. It's like it's becoming more professional.
Yeah.
Like
yes,
highly more. It was professional. I think we started seeing that, especially. I mean, people used to talk about the glory days of the '90s, where Tony Adams also had drinking problem, which and now we're seeing in this decade more so like the highly professionalization of the sport, and also just it's becoming more transparent about the mental states and the condition as well as the physical condition of the footballers. Like you're talking about, if you suffer an injury like Aaron Ramsey, that it messes you up physically, but also what it does to you mentally, and to have to fight and come back from being on the sidelines with an almost career-ending, injury. So the game, I definitely take what you're saying, and it's a very important point to make that these are like the 1%, the ones who made it. There's so many development development academies in the world, and we get to watch the absolute best 1%. And we're not even talking about the likes of Ronaldo and Messi. That's just out
yeah,
of this world. But
it's crazy, right? Yeah.
And
Yeah, bro.
we are people who grew up playing soccer like for years and just, for the fun of it as well. Nowhere near the kind of work and mentality and attitude that these people have, these athletes have put in order to get to where they are today. So you can definitely understand from both the manager's perspective and the players why the game is becoming so professional, and also, of course, maybe it is, issue of finances. There's so much investment in football as well.
Yeah, yeah,
There's so much money in
yeah,
it
bro.
that we want you to win trophies. We want you to be marketable, and that's the bottom line.
Definitely. And I mean, you look at it now, but now it's not like it's not entertaining. It's still
Mm-mm.
a display of the finest
Human,
human beings
yeah,
in if you like, the extent of human athleticism. You know what I'm trying to
yes,
say?
yes, yeah.
It's imprinted on my mind when Salah was just bullying on the right, bruh. And when you see players like Bosane,
Yes,
sticking to
ooh,
the ball like with strength and such a tiny player. You look at players like man, obviously Ronaldo, just like the finest, like a human specimen, dog. You know what I'm trying to say?
mm.
And then also to see teams, trying to figure it out and trick each other, not trick each other necessarily, but like mentally kind of overcome each other
Oh yeah,
through tactics. You know what I'm trying to say? And you're like, oh
mm.
shit. You're like, oh, bro, we're playing a loose three in the middle. Okay. All right. Okay.
Mm.
And then you
That is,
realize
yeah,
that because, okay, fine. Oh shit, he wants to draw the backs in, he wants to draw the game into the middle and then shoot it back to the wings. And then, you know what I mean? You know what I'm trying to say? Basically,
yeah,
you
yeah.
see the mental prowess of people like Arteta, you know? Like, it's beautiful to watch as well. It's still beautiful. There's still artistry in it. Uh,
Mm.
because we've got the complete opposite, bro. Where in South Africa, we've got people, we've got guys standing on the ball. You know what I'm trying to say? Wiping their face with a t-shirt. It's beautiful. And it's embarrassing for the other guy and it's entertaining. But god
Eto
damn it,
kitiski.
can you get these kid ideas? You know what I'm trying to say? These motherfuckers. And this is how you know Rocket Disc, because even Super Sport named the show Super Disc. And then they're like,
Super disc.
what's Super Disc on this day? And we're gonna watch football. You know, not call it soccer, but then you refer to like Arsenal and the English Premier League and Barcelona and like Europe. Basically, we say football. You know what I mean? I think that's the show. Actually, that is the show of where good soccer comes from. If they call it soccer, fuck those people. America and South Africa, fuck our soccer leagues. But these
Yeah.
football leagues I can still fucks with.
So do you watch South African soccer or South African football? Also, I think we need some consensus around what we actually calling the sports back home, because we have the federation, which is SAFA, the South African Football Association,
Association.
and then we have like Sihlala Ini. What do we play? Do we play soccer or football? What is it?
Bruh, Ngokwami in my mind, I would say they are playing something. They are definitely playing. These people are playing.
Are they
But I
playing? The
don't.
boys are playing. Yeah.
Yeah. But I don't think it's soccer or football. To be honest, I don't rate it. Nah, bruh.
Do you
All
watch
of
the
it. I don't
games?
even. No, I don't watch the games, bro. Even now, I used to be emotionally. I didn't even know that Chiefs, and I'm a Chiefs supporter by name, but I didn't even know we had won. I didn't know. I just found out when people like, you support Chiefs? I'm like, yes, at the pub. It's like, oh my gosh, you also support Chiefs? I do, young lady. What's your name? Let us discuss our love for Kaizer Taung's team. Just saying random
Yeah.
facts. Remember Mbesuma, young lady? Yes, oh my gosh. Yeah, nice.
So what is it then? Why don't we? And this is like just speaking as like ordinary South Africans. Why don't we watch? I'm not even asking this like as a big question, like to think about like why don't we watch South African soccer? Like why don't we make time to watch domestic league soccer? I mean, of course, is there a bit of like some classism there as well? Like I mean, of course, the European leagues are an absolute spectacle in terms of what they put on for us. I mean, these are the greatest leagues in the world, and the best quality in football. But it seems like we've lost that ability to, to be in two places at the same time in terms of watching South African or local football and also watching European football. Or if I can be more careful, Warwick, maybe it's just, certain people do watch European football based on access and, and also, of course, a number of people who support, probably the majority of people in South Africa do and support local soccer in the PSL. But why don't some of us, watch the PSL? And even Ibafana again, maybe yeah.
No, I would say this, bruh. My opinion is that, of course, it's the level of entertainment. I can't watch Bolt Run, and then on Channel 2 I hear that some kid excuse me, some kid from Penryn is running on the next channel. Like, dude, cool, but I'm not gonna rush home to watch some kid from my high school run.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's just like that. It's my comparison. That's how far. In my opinion, I feel like there are teams in League 3 that could fuck up the entire league here. I feel like it. I feel like it.
Yeah.
But
did you
that aside,
did you
also
see
the culture around soccer is different. Huh?
So I'll say that again. Sorry, say that again.
Also, the culture around soccer in football in South Africa is different. In England, for instance, people from Southampton will support the team from Southampton. What's this team from the fishing town? They even had a documentary on Netflix.
Sunderland.
So Sunderland still, of course, sometimes these days the stadium is not as full as it used to be, but they still have some support. People are still buying season tickets. They're still because they're from Sunderland, so then they make enough money to be able to make some changes. You know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
You see teams like Newcastle, Everton. You know what I'm trying to say? They're packing their stadiums. People are buying those tickets. And so at the end of the season, they're able to make changes. They're able to get into the training room and make sure that they're physically fit and are getting stronger. You know what I'm trying to say? We don't have that sort of support. I support Kaizer Chiefs. I'm from Nelspruit, dog. You know what I'm trying to say?
You should be supporting Mpumalanga Black Aces.
Yeah, but fuck them. You know what I'm trying to say? So that's the whole point I'm trying to make, is that the culture around football is not as entrenched in us. I wouldn't say that. I'd say it's not a location.
It's not like a community-based loyalty and a relationship between community and the local football team, Like, I could say exactly what you're saying about Mpumalanga Black Aces. I could say the same. I'm from Durban, and we have, like, Golden Arrows or Amazulu. But, I support Kaizer Chiefs, because in my head I think I'm a Perfeni glamour boy. But I've said to
saying that.
Yeah.
So it makes it hard to kind of maintain your own facilities, to pay these players proper salary. Some of these players are getting something like 20K a month. You know. You know what I'm trying to say? And bruh, you know what I mean? And we perform at the highest.
Suppose, Warwick, you can say that the state of South African football at the moment isn't at its sharpest. I mean, Oaks, we saw the Bafana kit drop. I don't know if you saw it. Yeah. What did you make of that?
I saw the kit.
Oh, you just saw the kit?
That was basically the kit drop. They literally, it was like, how long was it? It was like a 10-second kit, 10-second video clip. I don't know if you can describe it better, but I was literally saying to Luandi, so they could have literally just dropped the shirt and it would have been a better shirt drop announcement.
Yeah, they could just put the shirts on the field. So what happened was, you can go watch it in your free time. It's actually quite funny. Some guys that got together, they did a promo for the Le Coq Sportive Bafana Kids, which is Lecoq is our new technical sponsors, and they were playing soccer on a hockey field, like on an astro hockey field, and they did some disc skills, there, and then next minute, this is the new kids, quite interesting. I don't know what's happening there by Safa and Bafana, but it's safe to say it looks like we're going to be watching more of the Premier League and European football for quite some time. Yeah.
All right, cool. Thank you, Eb. We've taken, I think, a lot of your time, and really appreciate you, spending like 70 minutes with us.
Thank you guys for having me.
No, thank you so much. We've really enjoyed you, chatting to us about Arsenal and football in general. But to everyone listening, thank you for listening. And please follow us on Instagram and on Twitter at Flair Play Podcast. From me and Lua and Eb, thank you for listening. Cheers.
Who has won it more? Give me one name. I haven't seen it well, I have to look at it again.
Got nothing to ask you. Anyone else would have gone home after this.